Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. With the year coming to a close, let's count down my top 10 favorite games of 2017. Number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I've been a fan of the Uncharted games since 2010, and this spin-off title had me intrigued. Not just because it's a spin-off title, but Naughty Dog decided to return to the series so soon after concluding with A Thief's End. The story being centered around Chloe Fraser and Nadine Ross was an interesting approach, since I would have never thought of these two teaming up. It's fun watching the relationship between them develop as the game goes on. The gameplay is very much like Uncharted 4, with a couple of new mechanics thrown in to make it slightly different. Despite this, the game feels somewhat pointless to me. Like, if this game didn't come out, I would probably be feeling the same as I am right now. At the end of the day, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is a spin-off title that feels pointless, but is done really well. Number 9. Taking the number 9 spot is Mr. Shifty. This is an indie title that went below everyone's radar, where you teleport and beat up enemies as you make your way to the top of Olympus Tower. It's as fun as it looks. Highly recommend this game to any fan of beat 'em ups. Some may compare this game to Hotline Miami because of the one-hit deaths and the trial and error aspect, which can definitely be noted. The teleporting feature is fun to pull off, and defeating enemies feels really satisfying. My only complaints with this indie title are the performance on the Nintendo Switch version and the AI for the enemies. On the Switch version, frames will drop occasionally and is extremely noticeable in the later half of the game. I don't know if those issues have been patched out yet, so just keep this in mind when purchasing this game on the Switch. The AI at times is really bad, like enemies will shoot me, but others will not. It's not the perfect indie title, but for Team Shifty's first game, I still thoroughly enjoyed my time with Mr. Shifty. Number 8. The Jackbox Party Pack games have become one of my favorite party games to play amongst my friends, and the fourth game is no different. All of the games on this pack can be enjoyed to a certain extent. My least favorite game on this pack is Civic Doodle, where you have to draw on top of an existing piece of art in a short amount of time. All of the other games are really fun. Fibbage Enough About You is a sleeper hit since it's hidden as a game mode inside of Fibbage 3. Survive the Internet is probably my favorite game out of the bunch, since it can get very raunchy and hilarious at the same time. Monster Seeking Monster comes at a close second, where you have to try to date the other players. Overall, Jackbox Party Pack 4 is another great installment for the series. Number 7. Okay, I'm kind of cheating here since the first episode of this series came out last year, but The Walking Dead: A New Frontier takes my number 7 spot. Telltale decided to take a different approach with this season by adding a new protagonist named Javier. He's the little brother of a Cuban-American family, and you get to see his story of the zombie apocalypse. Clementine is present within this game, but she is sort of like a side character. You'll be controlling Javier throughout most of the game, but there are times where you'll control Clementine in flashback sequences to fill in that gap between Season 2 and this game. Many people dislike the story of Javier, but personally I loved it, probably because I am also a little brother of a 4-person household, but I genuinely believe that this game's story is really good. There's heart to these characters, and by the end of it, I was sad to see some of them go. Telltale definitely heard the mass complaints from fans, which is why they're ending the series with a Clementine season. A New Frontier took a different approach for Telltale's The Walking Dead series, and it worked out in the end. Number 6. At number 6 is Life is Strange Before the Storm. I only played Life is Strange this past summer, and I loved it. The rewind mechanic made this game different from other graphic adventure games, and the story and characters were developed really well. Playing this prequel series was fun, filling in that gap between Max leaving Arcadia Bay to the start of Life is Strange Before the Storm shows the player how the relationship between Chloe and Rachel formed, and who Rachel was as a character. In Life is Strange, Rachel to me was just the missing girl who happened to be Chloe's best friend while Max was gone. Now with Before the Storm, Rachel now has a character, and a good one at that. Before the Storm also takes the time to develop Chloe's character further and how the events of the past affected her. Anyone who loved Life is Strange's characters and world should definitely give Before the Storm a shot. It's a great prequel series that surprised me in many ways. Number 5. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe takes my number 5 spot. I already loved Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, and Nintendo's decision to release a deluxe version on the Switch was a fantastic choice. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's new features include additional characters, carrying 2 items, all of the DLC from the Wii U version, and more. This game is just an improved version of Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, which is great. If you didn't like Mario Kart before, I'm not exactly sure if this game will convince you otherwise. This is the best Mario Kart game to date in my opinion, and I highly recommend trying it out. Number 4. At number 4 is Splatoon 2. Just from the online play alone, you can get a lot of playtime out of this game. I didn't get a chance to play the original Splatoon on the Wii U, but I do have experience with other shooters. Playing Splatoon 2 for the first couple of weeks was really fun. Turf War is the basic mode that everyone has to play before heading into the ranked matches. The ranked modes rotate throughout the day, which include Splat Zones, Rainmaker, and Tower Control. They did add a new ranked mode recently called Clan Blitz, but I don't have an opinion on that mode since I haven't played much of it. Out of the 3 ranked modes I mentioned earlier, Splat Zones is probably my favorite since it's similar to Turf War in some regards. Salmon Run is a new horde mode that they've also added to this game, and it's really fun. Whether you play this game with your friends or with players online, you'll have a blast with Splatoon 2. Number 3. Probably the best Sonic game released in years, Sonic Mania takes my number 3 spot. Taking us back to the Genesis days, Sonic Mania recaptures that classic Sonic feel and look. 12 zones in total with 2 acts each. There's a ton of content here for any Sonic fan or platform lover. As a fan of modern Sonic games, I enjoyed Sonic Mania a lot. I have never finished any of the classic titles aside from Sonic CD on the Xbox 360, and I can totally get down with Sonic Mania. What the development team did to this game is amazing, emulating everything about a classic Sonic game into Mania and then some. This is one of the highest rated Sonic games in years, and it definitely shows. Sonic Mania is a Sonic game made from fans for fans. Number 2. Coming in at number 2 is the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy. This was my most anticipated game of the year, and it delivered. Remastering the original Crash Bandicoot trilogy onto the PlayStation 4 was done really well. All of the games handled exceptionally and visually looked stunning. Improvements have been made to these games as well, like an updated save feature and changes to Crash 1. Some may argue that the changes to Crash 1 made the game worse, but personally I think that the changes helped it out a lot. I'm curious as to what Vicarious Visions is going to do next. Many want them to do Crash Tag Team Racing or even a new Crash Bandicoot game. Whatever they decide to do, I'm all for it. The Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy truly delivered as my most anticipated game of this year. Now, before I get into my favorite game of 2017, I just want to give some quick honorable mentions. I'm making these mentions because they probably would have been somewhere on this list, but I didn't get to finish any of these. So the following games are Horizon Zero Dawn, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Flint Hook, Cuphead, and Hidden Agenda. So with those games in mind, what is my favorite game of 2017? Number 1. Super Mario Odyssey is my game of the year. You've probably heard all of the praise at this point when it comes to Odyssey. This game simply delivered on all fronts when it comes to a 3D Mario game. Going back to the formula similar to 64 and Sunshine, the gameplay is simply excellent. The movement Mario possesses is amazing. So many ways to get from point A to point B. The movement is all thanks to Cappy, who can also take control of certain enemies and use their abilities to advance in the game or find secrets and collectibles. The various worlds you'll be able to explore, one of the best being New Donk City. The game is also surprisingly newbie friendly, with a great intro level to start off new and old players. There's even an assist mode to those who need that extra hand. The end game of Odyssey is fantastic as well. So many moons to collect after the adventure is over to keep us completionists hungry. This is one of my favorite 3D platformers of the past decade. If you have yet to pick up Odyssey yourself, get it. If you don't own a Switch, get a Switch and Odyssey. This game is the definition of a console seller. So yeah, that is my list of the best games of 2017. What are some of your favorite games of 2017? Be sure to leave your thoughts and your lists in the comments section below. I read all my comments. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have not already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up every single Saturday. Want to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. Links will be in the description below. I put updates on my future videos on there. And yeah, I think that is about it. Thank you guys for watching this video again. I'll see you guys in 2018 with more videos. Game on, gamers.
Hey, Ryoichi Cooper!